start with some big ideas here. Some of them are national trends. Some of them are what we are seeing at the Community Foundation. They're very local. But I really welcome the chance when I'm done with my remarks to engage in Q&A with you to get your opinion on whether or not these trends, how you see them playing out locally or not. Perhaps you see some counter trends playing out here. But these are trends that come up all the time with the staff of the Community Foundation, in the boardroom of the Community Foundation. They are thought processes that I thought you would find interesting and maybe in some instances even provocative. So I'll just say this before I get started. The first three trends are kind of a downer, but the last five are much more encouraging and constructive. So please just hang with me, okay? Okay. So trend number one. 80% of Americans, that is 4 out of 5 Americans, will experience economic hardship before the age of 60. Trend number two, the fundamental roles of nonprofits is changing. Is this any surprise to any in the room? The public safety net just continues to erode. Okay, trend number three. The demand for nonprofit services is growing. Again, this is going to be no surprise to any of you. A group called the Nonprofit Finance Fund has been doing an annual survey on the state of nonprofits nationally since 2008. That was an interesting year to start this. That's when they started. For every single year, the NFF has been doing the study. The vast majority of nonprofits they surveyed report increases in the demands for their services. But here's the statistic I wanted to share with you. Of the more than 5,000 nonprofits that they surveyed in 2015, 52% of them, more than half of them, reported that they are unable to meet the demand. So enough already with the difficult news, okay? Let's talk about some of the great news for the nonprofit sector. So given these prior three trends, okay, there are new opportunities for the nonprofit sector in this environment, right? There's an opportunity to lead, and there is a rapidly growing recognition of the critical role of the nonprofit sector and the value of the nonprofit sector in our society. There's greater emphasis on networks now. So, you know, it's a paradoxical thing about leadership. It's actually a collaborative thing. Leadership is collaborative, right? There's this growing recognition around this as well, that in the social sector, nonprofits need to work together for greater impact. Foundations need to work together for greater impact. The power of the overhead myth continues to decrease. Okay. So you say, what is the overhead myth? All right. The overhead myth is a false conception that nonprofits ought to be rewarded for how little they spend on overhead. There's a man by the name of Dan Pallotta, and he is singularly responsible for changing the national dialogue on nonprofit overhead. There's a need for more flexible funding. So to pursue more success, to have more impact, nonprofits have to have necessary funding runway to get there. And donors are increasingly recognizing this. What do I mean by flexible donations, flexible dollars? I mean unrestricted dollars. I mean funds that go towards the capacity building of the organizations you run and work in. Finally, I've spoken a lot today about the nonprofit sector. I've mentioned something about the government sector. I haven't said anything yet about the private sector, and I'm speaking at a chamber event, so I thought I should really end, right? I should really end with a slide about what is the opportunity for corporate philanthropy here to just help change this game once and for all.